Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and today we are going to be making a fault line cake. Later on in the video, I'm going to be showing you a cake decorating hack that I haven't actually shown on the channel visually. I've briefly talked about it, but I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So you're going to start with whatever cake recipe you would like. I will leave this one down in the description box below, and you're going to crumb coat it as usual. Now I will say that the one difference is you do want to crumb coat a little bit more thinly than you normally would. The only reason I say that is because we're going to be adding on a lot of icing to create that fault line. So you want to try and thin this part out as much as you can. Now I've seen some tutorials where they actually put a little bit more icing on here and then they adhere whatever it is that they want to put on here, but my buttercream is fairly sticky still, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick it right on. Now some tips for this portion. Because we are going to be swiping this whole thing with buttercream later, it's really important that you choose things that are all the same size. And what I mean by that is you don't want things that stick out too much. You're going to see that I make the mistake of putting on sixlets, which stick out a lot more than these little rock candies, and it makes it hard for when I do the swipe later on. Choosing various sizes of things to put on this fault line area here is really cool. You just have to make sure that it doesn't stick out that much. Before starting to paint this with a little bit of luster dust and vodka mixed in, I did put it in the fridge. If I tried to paint this right away without putting it in the fridge, then the rocks would start coming off as I was trying to paint. You could just leave it at the candy rocks, but I want to add a little bit more. I'm going to be doing more with this cake in the next coming days, but I just left it as is for this tutorial because I'm going to be showing you some other cool things too. Here's where things get a little bit tricky. Now, I really should have done this with a piping bag, but if you guys have watched my videos, you know how hard it is for me to waste a piping bag. So I am just putting this on with my spatula, and make sure that you apply this generously. Now, the trick to this is apply generously, but also make sure that all of your icing is sticking out relatively the same. Because if you don't do that, you're going to end up with a weird looking fault line. Now, I think I would have been able to get this done in 1 or 2 swipes, but because of my sixlet issue, I had a few bumps along the way, you could say. But here comes my cake hack. So what you want to do is you want to take your metal spatula and then you want to fire it up with a brulee torch. What this does is helps smooth out your buttercream. And I don't know about you guys, but my house is actually a little bit colder, so it is impacting the way that these swipes happen for me. Keeping it in the fridge for a long duration can also have an impact as well. So using this little torch trick will honestly make things so much easier for you. Now, not everybody has a kitchen torch. That's totally fine. You can run it under super, super hot water and then just wipe off any excess water still on the spatula and do your swipe that way. The reason that I like the torch though is that I don't have to run over to the sink and run back and forth. I can just literally fire up that torch super quickly. I want to make this cake super glamorous, so I'm putting on some bling wrap, which I just got from my local dollar store. You can see that some of my buttercream overlapped some of those sprinkles in the middle, so I'm just going to take some gold edible paints here and I'm going to cover up all of those little imperfections. I'm also going to splatter on the cake here to help cover some things as well. I also just think it looks really, really pretty this way. I should also mention that before you paint on buttercream, you need to make sure that the cake is super, super chilled. I left this in my fridge for about 30 minutes before starting to do this portion. So let's get into the pricing of this. Now, a lot of things go into this cake. I know that it's like a 4-minute process, but in reality, it does take quite a bit of time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys.